Welcome back guys, it's been a while since I uploaded a video, and long story short, the reason why I didn't upload any video was because my friend drove with his car over my camera bag. Yeah.
Hello darkness, my old friend.
But today we start with the Sony A77 Mark II. And this camera, I've got this camera for about 2 years now, about 2.5 years, and it's my backup camera since I got my Sony A7 II. It's a little bit unused in my case. It's so hot in here. Okay, let's 1, 2, 3. So let's start with the quick specs. The quick specs, it's a Sony APS-C crop sensor camera. And the sensor is a 24.3 exmor CMOS sensor, like Sony stated on their packaging. And the mount is A-mount, not E-mount. My Sony A7 II is E-mount. That's the smaller mount for mirrorless cameras in the Sony lineup. And the A-mount is the bigger sized mount for Minolta lenses and conical lenses. For the video folks, we have 1080p at 60 frames per second, but the 1080p is not that sharp as I would like to have, and shot at 28 megabytes per second. And you have no flat color profile like Sony S-Log and S-Log 2, S-Log 3, or V-Log or C-Log on the Canon cameras. You have no flat color profile. That's a huge issue for me because I'm doing film and photography at the same time, most of the time, and I need a camera that can shoot both. And the second point is the build quality and image quality. Overall, I have to say the build quality of this camera is good. It's not like my A7 II, but that's a different story because of the price tag. This price tag for this camera is absolutely okay. It's some plastic, rubber, metal build, but it doesn't feel cheap. It's very well built. The image quality though is also on point if you have the right lenses. If you have cheap lenses, the quality isn't that great as you would like to have it. But if you have really good lenses, size lenses, or the higher end models, you will have definitely very good photos. I will show you a few which are shot in a few weeks where I didn't have my Sony A7 II or before. And yeah, let's talk about the interface. You have a 3.5mm microphone jack, a multi/micro USB port, you have a multi-interface hot shoe, a sync terminal, and a wide remote terminal. And you have a DC input where you can power your camera without any batteries directly from your outlet. What I really like about the camera is the handling and the overall feeling of the camera. The button placement is also on point. It's much different from the A7 series, especially the movie button is not on the side handle. It's near to the OLED viewfinder. And you have a dedicated focus mode switch dial to switch your modes fast. What I don't like is the SD card slot. You only have one. What you don't get on the A7 series lineup on the mirrorless side is the built-in flash. About the battery life, I can say it's much longer than my A7 II. If we look at the data sheets, we have 480 shots with this camera, with the A77 Mark II. And to give that in comparison to the A7 II, we have only 290 shots in the viewfinder and 340 in the LCD. That's much less than the A77 Mark II. So for battery life, I give a huge thumbs up. I wish my Sony A7 could do that too. But yeah, smaller camera, smaller battery, more power. You have to sacrifice something. I really like the next point. And that's the articulating flip-up screen. You can do this. You can put it upwards, you can do selfies like this one. Or you can rotate it, close it back up. Don't get scratched in the camera bag or somewhere else, like the other mirrorless cameras do from Sony, the A7S, A7 series, A9 series, yeah. If you have a smartphone that supports NFC, you can hold the smartphone enabled with the NFC directly to your camera, in this case, like this. Be transferred via the Play Memories app from Sony, but you will only get the JPEGs, not the raw camera, not the raw shots. That's a bit disappointing for me, but yeah, the smartphones can't handle most of the time the raw files. So that's why you only get the JPEGs. I've talked about the video mode, and the video mode is pretty disappointing for myself. For the most of the guys out there, I think it's not a huge issue. For me, it's a huge issue because I do both. And the 8-point lens selection. Lens selection is on these cameras, on the A-mount cameras, very, very good. I'm a little bit jealous about the lens selection on the A-mount, on the main mount side, because the E-mount side isn't that huge, but it's very expensive on this side. The G Master lenses are top of the line on the E-mount. They rip off your wallet in no time, but you get great lenses. And most of the lenses from Minolta and Konica, like I said before, is compatible with the A-mount. And the great thing with mirrorless cameras and A-mount lenses, you can switch between them. If you have the LAEA, I don't know how this name is pronounced, I will link it in the description. But if you have this adapter from Sony, the 3rd edition or the 4th edition, you have autofocus also, and you can use your A-mount lenses on your E-mount camera. That's a huge plus for me, because I can buy some cheap lenses and use them on my E-mount, on my Sony A7R II. Okay guys, so let's talk about the conclusion. The conclusion for myself is this camera is a great camera for beginners, amateur photographers, without any needs for cinematic stuff. If you want the cinematic stuffs, and then go for a different camera like the A6500, APS-C camera, also very cheap in my opinion. Has 4K, has 120 frames per second in 1080p, has S-Log, has everything you want to have on the video side, but also on the photo side. So, is the A77 Mark II worth it? It depends on your needs. If you have the needs for this camera in photography aspects, long battery life, up to 480 shots with this. You have a great viewfinder, it's an OLED viewfinder like in the A7R II. I don't think it's the same, but it's a very good one. You have an articulating screen if you want this. The AF is also very good. But if you can sacrifice the video options, go for it. Go for this camera. I currently sell this camera. If you want to buy it, you can do it. I sell it with 2 lenses, and yeah, because I want to get rid of it. I like the camera, that's not the problem. I like it, but I want to go with a backup camera that can do both, like the A6500 or the A7S II. But that's a different story. So if you want to buy it, everything is linked in the description below. So this is it guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave it down below, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video, so stay tuned.